Why is internal communication a key success factor in acquisition integration phase? How gamifying the experience during this phase can help the success of an integration? And which are the new technologies which enable a higher likelihood of success for acquisition integration? François, you're the CEO of YUCCA.
Yep.
Can you share with us a few words about what your company does?
Yes, of course. YUCCA is both a consulting and management consulting company specializing in customer and staff engagement. And by engagement, I don't mean hiring, I mean people who will act on something, on a message. And on the other hand, we are a creator and a distributor of high-tech solutions for social mobile application in the field of gamification. So you'll ask me, what is the link? The link is that gamification helps engagement. And customer engagement, communication for engagement communication are keywords today in the marketing, and there are also keywords in internal communication, and especially when there is a merger, when people need to understand quickly and to keep their motivation and to be engaged in the new company. That's what we do.
And why is internal communication now so important?
Well, internal communication is too often seen as the weak piece in the strategy of acquisition. Generally speaking, let's say the leaders, the management, the top management, they will work on strategy, they will work on the economy of the merger, they will work on financial details, they will maybe address the HR issues such as, well, we need to get rid of a number of people because blah, blah, what is called usually synergies. But when it comes to keeping up the morale, the motivation of the staff, well, there is a weak point here. It comes too late in the process. And a key question everybody should have in mind is that every colleague in the company, every staff in the organization will have one question. Okay, they got rid of this and this and this and this. Who's next? Is it me? And mergers and acquisition create a lot of fear. There's a lot of change, and change equals fear. And how to fight fear, and this is where gamification enters into the picture, because you can fight fear with games.
In your experience, what are the typical mistakes in internal communication you've witnessed?
The typical mistakes are that everything's perfect on the paper, except that people were not motivated and not well informed. And the internal communication team came into the game too late with a mission which was to control collateral damage. And collateral damage is very late usually, and people are already demotivated before people communicate with them. The management wants to communicate. So why is so? Because there is very often a lack of seniority of the internal communication team. They don't sit with the board or with the executive committee. And second, confidentiality. People don't want the information to go out too early, so there is no information. And when the external communication goes out, it's already too late. People will see and will learn what's going on from the media and not from their own internal communication. That's a big, big mistake, because everything communicates today.
So what can innovation do for integration teams?
Innovation in the terms, in that case of gamification, is a very powerful tool. It has two objectives. It kills two birds with one stone. The first objective is that it will de-dramatize the change management fears, game against fear. The second objective is that it will give an incentive to people to read more carefully, because there will be a question, there will be a game. Did you read this? After that it will open another game, and they will have to read something else, and they will have to look at the range of products or services or the new CEO or whatever. And the game will drive the staff within the content that the company needs to deliver.
So if you have to give one piece of advice to a company going through an integration, what would be this piece of advice?
Yeah, I would give two pieces of advice, if you don't mind. The first one would be to call YUCCA and ask for advice. And the second one would be to make sure that there is not a dual or a double language, one for the outside and one for the inside. Everything communicates on the web, so people see everything. And more important, to introduce internal communication very early in the process.
Thank you very much, François.
You're welcome.
You've been watching the Think Tank M&A show in partnership with Dukascopy TV here in our studio in Geneva. We'll be back with more interviews in the coming weeks, but for now, goodbye.